Thank you for mentioning the 80th anniversary of D-Day today. I appreciate that.
All right. Meeting of the Berkeley County Commission is now called to order. Are there any items from the public? Hearing none. Need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Been properly moved and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. Purchase order log. Are there any questions on there for Tracy? I see she was quite busy.
Big checks in there.
Okay. Mr. Wine, we have 6 internal budget revisions.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. You do, as I mentioned last week and probably again next week, it's a time of the year where everyone tries to keep their budgets balanced, moving money from one line item to another. The first one is from the sheriff in account 700. He's asking for approval to move $483 from his investigative services line item to his postage line item. The second one is again from the sheriff. He is asking for approval to move $4,946 from uniforms into his training line item. The third one, again from the sheriff, asking to move $120 from his advertising line item to his printing line item. The next one, again from the sheriff, to move $823 from materials and supplies to maintenance and repair vehicles. Clerk Petrucci in his elections account is asking to move $10,000 from advertising to contractual services. Clerk Petrucci again from account 402 is asking to move $1,000 from contractual services to training, and that's all of them.
We have change of status. New hire recommendation received from Jack Lang, Facilities Director, for Josh Crow as a Facilities Worker 2 with an annual salary of $43,135. That's effective June 17, 2024. New hire recommendation received from Mike Lang, Court Marshal, Chief Court Marshal, for Gregory Austin as a Deputy Court Marshal with an annual salary of $39,017, effective June 17. New hire recommendation received from Tim Zaya, Community Corrections Director, for Jose Borges as a drug screen tech with an annual salary of $39,812. Change of status received as a part of a rank structure May 30th, 2024, requesting a change effective date from July 1, 2024 to date, and responsibilities actually began on April 1, 2024 for Sabrina Hess. So the changes that we made last week in the rank structures there with Sabrina, she started doing those extra duties actually in effective April 1. So we're going to back hers up until then. Right? Change of status received from Tim Zaya, Community Corrections Director, for Summer Nails. She is transferring from the Prosecuting Attorney's Office to DRC as a Community Service Specialist effective June 13th, 2024. There is no change in salary. Change in status received from the Honorable Sheriff Rob Blair for the following, effective March 13th, 2024. Adam Boothby will be promoted from Sergeant to Lieutenant with a salary increase from $80,854 to $86,133. Ralph Pierce is being promoted from Deputy to Corporal with a salary increase of $71,206 to $74,713. I have a letter of resignation received from Animal Control from Randy Kinney, effective June 7, 2024. Letter of resignation received from Animal Control from Robert Frick, effective June 5th, 2024. On the approval of the minutes, Commissioner Boyd was not present at the May 23rd meeting, so I'd like to go ahead and have a motion to approve the minutes for that meeting. Right now, we'll go ahead and pull it out of the consent agenda.
Mr. Vice President, I move that we accept the minutes for May 23rd, 2024 as presented.
I second that.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. We have bond release. On Thistle Landing, Section C, and that's on the grading permit, file 0-20, 020-15 tied to 2106-211, and that's the engineering department. Have a bond release on Middle Creek Manor, Phase 3, final plat, lots 312 through 321, 330 through 344, BCP 027-15 tied to BCP number 3305-158, LOC 30001105-47, and the engineering department is recommending that. Thistle Landing, Section C, final plat, file 20-15 to tied to 2105-211, LOC 7972383, engineering department. Bond release, Thistle Landing, Section C, Phase 2, lots 13 to 15, 26 to 31, 35 37, and 46 to 48 on final plat. LOC 7978257. Bond release, Thistle Landing, Section C, Phase 2, lots 38 through 45, final plat. File 020-15 tied to 2106-211, LOC 7990062. Engineering department makes those recommendations and approvals. You good with that, sir? Yes. All right, thank you. Okay. Let me get caught up here on my iPad. The next thing that we have is to, within our agenda, within our consent agenda, is to approve the resolution for the Industrial Access Road Grant Program. And I'll just read it. Therefore, be it resolved that the Berkeley County Commission that our community wishes to participate in the Industrial Access Fund Road Grant Program for CMC in the amount of $400,000 for unmatched IAR funds and $300,000 matched IAR funds from fiscal year 2024, and that the leadership of this community fully recognizes the program and requires dedicated effort. So that's just showing our support for the grant program for the access into CMC property.
Is that being administered by Elizabeth?
That will be administered
By
through
the
the
Development Authority?
Development Authority.
Okay.
Yeah, Jennifer
Yeah.
will take care
Is that
of
for
that.
that bridge out front?
They're not using the bridge. They're going to do away with that bridge, and this will just be the road.
It's still the access road. That road was always shown on their upgrade. When they first came in for design, they used that was a road that was already established and had vehicles. Thought that was the easiest. Have to be the worst with the bridges. Bridge is in dire state. It needs to be replaced. There's no debate.
Right.
It's a replacement.
So where will this road come in at?
On to 11, right by the, basically, the access road for the water treatment plant now is for that entrance.
Okay.
Where they cross the tracks then, just drive across them?
Yeah, that's the next.
Just be a track crossing there instead of a bridge.
Originally, Winchester Western.
Twice a day, yeah.
Across it.
Right.
They've literally said there are no more such things. So that was another reason to use the other road.
Yeah, and that, I think that road will also benefit the water district in the future as well.
Yeah, well, they have a pending project there to modify it. We looked at it.
Say what you just said earlier, that Winchester and Western what?
Winchester Western has said that they don't really want any more.
I think that's all railroads everywhere now.
Yeah, it's, well, CSX not so bad to get one from. Winchester Western, it's like pulling teeth out of a grizzly bear.
All right.
They hold them very close to that.
All right, sir. Next thing on the agenda is the cancellation, canceled check request by the clerk's finance office. And from there, we move to approval of the consent agenda.
I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda for Thursday, June 6th, 2024.
Second.
Been properly moved and second. Any further questions? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. Next up, we have the Honorable Larry Hess, the assessor for 18 personal property exoneration. Morning, sir.
Morning.
Morning.
I do have 18 personal property, office, air. This was probably about 2 weeks of this because we had to move last week, so we got backed up a little bit, so that's why we got 18 of them here. And by the way, thank you for the new facilities. They're great.
Good.
We're just getting settled in and
You might as well work pretty good.
yeah, I think so. It'll work out great. We're still unboxing stuff, but
Now, I just got to probably figure out a little bit of the flow.
yeah, we got to get some signs up and direct the traffic here and there and different things like that. But we're getting there. But I think they'll be nice. They are nice. I think it'll be great. Yeah, so appreciate it.
Well, I tell you, it's awful quiet here on the second floor since you moved out.
Well, it's not quite down here because they're banging and nailing and whatever, and dirt's falling and whatever. But we'll get it done. So
The HVAC seems cooler downstairs than it does up there.
You can't keep him cool, Larry. He's just hot.
I have noticed that.
Have you not noticed that? Okay. Check it out sometime. Let me know next time I see you.
All right, I'll do that. Anyway, we have 18 personal property, office air exonerations for the reasons that's listed there. If you total them all up, they do come up to $2,392.20 for those 18.
With the new system that you have with the computerized do-I-did-it, you think that'll lower the incidence of
Yeah,
these?
I'm hoping so, yeah. Well, I think the office, customer time turnaround will be a lot quicker. Because the employees don't have to get up out of their chair, go to the retriever and pull a file, come back, and then, it's all on the computer. They just pull it up by name or account number. It's right there, so it should speed that up a lot.
I know that when I went to the Tony Patrice's office one time and got a copy of the deed, she's sitting there at a computer and man, it came right up, rather than going into the vault and pulling up the deed book page and all that crap.
Yeah.
You
Not
know.
only that, we couldn't go any further we're expanding to the point where, the county is growing like it is. Our retrievers were full of files, and then we were buying cabinets to put the files in, and it kept growing, and we had to cut that off because there's no room for that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this should speed up and cut those lines back. I'm hoping a lot. Yeah.
Mr. Vice President, I move to accept the personal property exonerations in the amount of $2,392.20.
Properly motion.
Second.
Second. Any further questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, Larry.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Board and meeting reports. Mr. Hoyt.
Yeah, had a meeting with Robbie from Main Street and talked about this month's meeting and what's going on there and how the wine festival went and some different things. I spoke last month about the CVB and Main Street working together. I guess it's more funded by the CVB for this ambassador program for downtown. So they start the interviews this Friday for those new positions, and they will introduce them at the next Thursday's children's concerts at the square. Every Thursday there's children concerts in the mornings at the town square with live music and different things for parents and kids to do during the summer. The Fridays at 5 start this week at 6 p.m. Well, it's Fridays at 6 now. It used to be Fridays at 5. But they're going to meet up a little early and maybe go stop at different places like the garage or Stoney's and places for the people who want to come out at 5 and then make their way to the square at 6 and have the live music and things going on. That'll be different from last year where they had separated it out and did every couple weeks or every other week. This year it'll be every Friday through June and July. And then the volunteers and the ambassadors will be recognizable wearing Main Street shirts of sorts. These ambassadors will also begin doing programs with trail walks and rides and restaurant crawls, architecture tours, different things of that nature to get more folks involved with downtown Main Street and things throughout the city in general. And then the wine festival was a little slower this year. It's their biggest event, but the rain. They did their normal pre-sale tickets, but the week of, they usually do another insertion of tickets and then tickets at the gate. They were down a little bit because they were calling for bad rain, and then the day of, it was calling for rain, and it was gloomy. But it actually held off and was a good event. They just didn't get the numbers they normally have. But they still had all their vendors there, and they made their money off their vendors, I guess, and whatnot. And
I think this year was the first year they were able to sell some local wines.
yes, the laws got changed with the legislation this year, and the wines were able to be sold by the bottle. Previously, if you sold by the bottle, you had to take the bottle to your car. You couldn't open it and drink there and sit at a table and enjoy the music, But for next year, he said they don't want it to plateau. So for next year, they're going to try to bring in a bigger name for the music to maybe hopefully garner some new interest in it and increase the numbers some more. Just hope that it don't turn into rain again. But maybe if you bring in a bigger name, you sell more pre-sale tickets. I don't know. Once people buy their tickets, they come rain or shine. But there's always those. I did it with Chalet Acres. It's always a tough one. You hope you sell a bunch of pre-sales because if it does rain, that might be all you sell. But yeah. But they seem to be moving right along down there. About some things going on, and that's my meeting reports.
Very good. Mr. Barnhart.
I had no meetings this week, but next week I noticed it wasn't on my June calendar. Region 9 meets Monday at 12 o'clock at the airport.
Kelly.
Tuesday, had the sewer board met and the EADS group. They've been working on a study, an engineering study for the district for 2 years now. And they finally came out. If you would like to see it, I have the mapping over on my desk. They took the whole district, all 5 systems, Inwood, Baker Heights, Peck and Hedgesville, Scrapple Road, and the Woods is how they break it down. And did testing on it for the last 2 years. And our system right now works really well when it's dry weather, but when there's a lot of wet weather, we have issues. And really, you shouldn't if all's working properly, so that study was where the strong points are, where the weak spots are, and now it's just a matter of they've made recommendations on how to treat it and take care of it in the future. In fact, though, a lot of the work that's been going on there over the past year with especially out in Hedgesville, the 5 pump stations out there are all being replaced, and the last one to get done is there at Miller's Curve. They call it Eckert's station, where Abe's Lock's located right now. And that whole end of the county is going to be much better. The only real problem out there is still down at Murphy's gas station, and that's the very last one down in that area. So, but it was a very interesting study to see, and obviously, I don't think you can blame most of it on our piping and all, but it's people are putting water in there, the stormwater in our system that shouldn't be, and I don't know how you ever go about correcting all that, with the homeowners. Also, then there was a stormwater meeting as well. Today, Gannett and Fleming is here in Martinsburg at the sewer office where the stormwater office is located as well. And they're reviewing all the existing fee structure of the stormwater. As I mentioned last week, we're going to have a statewide MS4 permit. And it's going to be the appropriate time once we become part of that, register through this new permit, to adjust our fee structure if we so choose to do so. And they're studying all the existing situation, and so they can come out with some recommendations on where we're headed. So tomorrow I have a meeting scheduled with Parks and Rec, a couple of board members and their executive director with the Shenandoah Valley Battlefield folks here in their complex. The title to 901 property has been completed now, and we do have the deed of the 901 property. So that's going to be the main focus of our meeting tomorrow, on how we're going to cooperate with Parks and Rec and develop the first ever registered battlefield here in Berkeley County. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then on Sunday, I will be leaving on Sunday for Stonewall Resort and returning on Wednesday. It's the CCA of West Virginia annual conference, and they've got a pretty intense agenda there for those 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, and a half a day on Wednesday. So I'm actually looking forward to that as well. If you've never been to the Stonewall Resort, it's a fabulous place to visit. It'll be a very interesting and good trip, I hope.
Taking the wife?
She passed on that. I did offer, so but I'll be in meetings all day, and I think she's glad to see me going. So maybe that's the thought here.
Yeah, I have
Turn
to
the
get,
air conditioner off.
But she gets rather warm too. So I don't know if anybody's familiar, but I've been getting some complaints about the Chestnut Hills Estates, and it's out at Escape Court in Hedgesville. I don't know, but I'm going to talk to Anthony about it later today. I'm not sure that, similar to the issues we were having down at a year or so ago, down on the north end of the county, with the people that were renting the farm down there with the residents.
oh, you mean
And
racing and all that kind of stuff?
dirt biking thing, loud, late at night, early morning hours. Very similar situations starting to boil there. So I'm not sure what.
Is that
we
near
can
the
do.
Tomahawk track?
Huh?
Is that near the Tomahawk track?
I'm not sure yet. I haven't looked it up exactly where it's located.
That's been there a long time.
But it's not that.
Tomahawk.
These are neighbors. That,
Oh, this isn't something new. This isn't the Tomahawk
this is a
track.
subdivision.
Okay.
no.
So I recently saw
we'll
some
check into
complaints
it and
about
see, and I just update you that you may hear more about it later. So, but I assume that situation out there has been pretty quiet at the other place, and I guess it got resolved, and we
Yeah, I
haven't
think
heard any more
landowner-
about it. So
Landowner kicked him out or something.
yeah, right. He finally got him out, and so hopefully this won't boil into that kind of situation. That's all that I have, sir. Thank
Very
you.
good, thank you, and good work on getting that deed over to that property. That's good coordination, cooperation.
I want to thank the Board of Education for being willing to do that, and appreciate it greatly. And I think this is going to be a really important thing for our community to establish our first ever battlefield, and hopefully there'll be more to come. So we're still working very hard. There's going to be an offer to lease the Falling Waters property here soon.
How are the improvements to that acreage? Park and the trails and the bathrooms and all that kind of stuff.
What's the question?
How are the improvements going?
They're going to get started, cranked up here soon, but what we're trying to do is meet so that we can coordinate the improvements that they're going to make in regards to the battlefield in conjunction with the development of the park.
Yeah.
So it's all coordinated together.
And they've started some site work already.
Yeah.
The pad is ready for the restroom. The pad is or will be ready for the pavilion. So there's some work going on.
Parking areas and stuff, and you know, it's a really difficult piece of property to develop.
Solid rock.
I'm sure it made a great battlefield site.
Lots of stuff to hide behind.
For sure, so, but it's gonna be the Hoax Run battlefield, and hopefully the meeting, I'm sure will go well tomorrow. We're headed in the right direction. So.
Be nice to eventually maybe tie that into the library property and have
We
something
have
across the
had
two
those
of them.
conversations. We have had those conversations.
Good.
All right, sir. I really didn't have any committee meetings this week, but I did meet with a member of the planning commission and wanted me to visit a site with him to look at for a resident of the county for possible cemetery, a family cemetery to be designated on the property. So I went and looked at it, and of course I spoke with Brian and Laura to see what would be required for that. And also I had a meeting this week with the water district representation about locating a water source on the south end of the county. And to follow up with what the pastor said this morning, you know, I'd like for us to pay our respects and the remembrance of this 80th anniversary of the D-Day invasion in Normandy. It was great yesterday watching the veterans on the news that had the opportunity to travel back to Normandy and see their various veterans. Just
It was a nice presentation this morning with the
Yeah.
President of the United States and the President of France coming up and the
Australia.
C-130s flying overhead, and you know, they gave some remarks. I'm kind of surprised they didn't have Great Britain and France or Canada there, because they contributed half the landing force, but I guess that's
There were over 80-some soldiers there that served in the war on D-Day.
average age of 100.
And one guy lied about his age and told him he was 18, he was only 15 years old, just fighting in the war. What a courageous young man he was.
Well, they weren't the greatest generation for nothing.
20th century, greatest generation.
Yeah, we were war babies, but they were the greatest generation.
okay. We have a bid opening at 10 o'clock, and we're kind of right on the schedule.
Yep.
Could I make one thing real quick?
Yes, that's right.
Yes, sir.
There's two members of the museum board that are due for renewal. They've turned their packets in.
I get you. I'll go back to you.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Mr. Vice President, the one opening now is the maintenance and evaluation services for the elevators in our facilities. It was advertised locally. We do have certification of publication. It was on the website and distributed to the vendors we knew whom had interest, and you have one response, I believe.
Yep, looks like just one. Yeah, there's, do we have Gary in the system? There's one here.
It's just under
and
10.
Are there that many?
Yeah, there's, I
It's
think
over
there's
there
6
and-
in the Judicial Center alone. One at the old courthouse and 2 here.
I guess there'll be a new one over there at the Day Report Center.
Yes.
This is from the Wright Elevator Company.
Right.
Yes, ma'am. RIGHT at 901 Oak Street, Johnstown, Pennsylvania. And we have broken down an annual billing of $13,920, a monthly billing of $760. Then there's a separate proposal on an hourly rate for emergency response, or an urgent emergency response, and just a typical hourly rate for weekends and holidays. So, for that, you guys will be able to take that back. And I'm disappointed that the other companies that we currently have did not bid on this.
Have you worked with this company before?
I've never heard of them. I can tell you that Penny can tell you about the emergency and urgent responses. She spent some time in the elevator one afternoon.
Yeah. It was so like to see Tommy Pufferberger all my life. He took that run to that door and I climbed out of there.
And the next one, we have a,
An engineering firm, talk about EADS, is from Johnstown, Pennsylvania.
okay, we have reappointment packets received from Robert Mahaffey, Matthew Howard, and Ronnie Good for the Berkeley County Museum Commission. Mr. Boyd?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to reappoint those guys to the museum board.
It's been moved. I have a second.
Second.
Been properly moved and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Reappointment packet received from Donna Van Meter, Sandy Hamilton, Guy Avey III, and Jennifer Smith for the Eastern Panhandle Region 9 Board. The term expires June 30, 2024.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to appoint Donna Van Meter, Sandy Hamilton, Guy Avey III, and Jennifer Smith to Region 9 Planning and Development Council for a 2-year term.
Properly moved.
Second.
Any second? Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Reappointment packet received from Michelle Ath.
I'll deal with that next week.
Okay. And likewise with the Development Authority, I will deal with that at another meeting. Thank you. Will, are you ready?
I am.
Okay. Morning, sir.
This morning, we have 22 estates for final settlement for the month of June 2024. All estates proposed for settlement here this morning are identical to those found in your read-ahead. All estates proposed for settlement have also been legally or actually noticed of their proposed pending settlement status as prescribed by West Virginia law. Furthermore, my office has received no written notice of objections to date from any interested parties of the estates herein. Oof, that's sticking. Sorry. Lastly, all claims of debt publicly filed against each of these estates have either been released as paid in part or in full by the creditors themselves, or the estate has been declared to be insolvent, meaning no probate assets remain to pay heirs, beneficiaries, and creditors alike. Without objection from any present interested party in the audience today, I ask for this Commission's consideration for the approval of 22 estates for the final settlement of the month of June 2024.
Okay. Heard, Will, have a motion to approve his request of the 22 estates.
I'll make a motion to approve the 22 estates.
Properly moved.
Second.
And second. Any question? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Did we want to do the estate hearing as well?
Yeah, do you expect anybody for that?
It's one part. I'll explain why no. But,
Okay.
All right. Next, we have the estate hearing in the matter of the estate of David Scott Caldwell. Mr. Caldwell passed away May 1st, 2024, a resident of Berkeley County. On May 13th, 2024, Patricia Caldwell, surviving spouse, named executrix, sole heir, and sole named beneficiary in the copy of the will, came into my office having only a copy of the decedent's last will and testament as attached to your read-ahead. As all may know, the law stipulates that the rebuttable presumption when an original will cannot be found is that the original will was destroyed, thus cannot be found on purpose. To rebut this presumption, however, Mrs. Caldwell filed a petition with this commission to allow for the copy to be recorded in solemn form. It should be noted that Mrs. Caldwell, as stated, is the sole heir, as well as the copy of the last will and testament's named executrix and sole beneficiary. Thus, there is virtually no difference between the intestate and testate in the instant matter. Having stating all this, and barring any objection from any interested party present here this morning, I ask for this commission's consideration to probate the copy of David Scott Caldwell's last will and testament in solemn form.
Okay. You've heard Will and his request. So
I move that we follow his instructions and his guidance to
approve the will of David Scott Caldwell in solemn form. Properly motion.
Second.
And second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Will. Okay, sir. Have a good day.
That's all I have, gentlemen. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Okay, yeah, let's move on with the bid opening, RFP for the generator maintenance service.
Mr. Vice President, I believe you have more than one here. If I'm mistaken, it's three. You do have certification publication. It was advertised on our website and distributed to the vendors we know that had interest. I believe the count is 7 now. You have generators scattered all over the place. The new addition to the one here at the Dunn Building. You have one on North Mountain. You have 2 at the Non-Emergency Communications Center. You have 1 at the Sheriff's Department and 1 at the Judicial Center.
Now, notice that this one does not include the maintenance of the new generator here.
It'll be under warranty for the first year.
Penny, the first one is from Fidelity Power Systems of Glen Echo, Maryland. I'm sorry, Glencoe. Okay, for a total price to service 5 generators, $4,675. Of course, they got the standard labor rates of $106, after hours $159, holiday labor rates $212, $75 mileage per service call. And then they have it broken down by the generator. I don't remember where they all are as far as the numbers are concerned. I know the large Detroit diesel is at the 911 center. I would think that the 450K is probably at the Judicial Center. One's on the mountain. I don't know what that's $640, and a smaller one, 150 kW.
It's at the Communication Center also.
Okay. Do you have that, Penny? Fidelity?
Yes.
Okay.
Maryland.
Glencoe, Maryland. This here is for X spec, X as in just a simple letter X, Spec Power Incorporation out of Elkview, West Virginia. Their total price for the 5 generators is $9,190. They have a $140 hour per person labor rate. After hours, $180. Holiday pay, $180, and $85 per travel hour. That's out of Elk River Road in Elkview, West Virginia.
The first Glencoe, Glencoe, Maryland.
This one is the Power Connection out of Dayton, Virginia. Total service is $5,920. Standard labor rate is $160 an hour. After hours is $240. Holiday pay $240. $100 per travel hour for mileage. For the large generator, $1,015 for load bank testing, minimum 2-hour generator. $1,240 for the 450K. The 10K is $565. 20K is $575, and the 150 kW is $705. And that is the Power Connection. Takes care of that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, I think that we can take a little break.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be on break for a few minutes.
Thank you, man.
We're back in session, and next up is Chief Martin Roberts, Berkeley County Fire Department. Morning, sir.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
We're here this morning to do our first promotional penning of a lieutenant in front of the commission and all those in media land watching today. On May 10th and 11th, we did a 2-day testing process for our lieutenant's position. We had a total of 8 candidates that were qualified to take the promotional exam within the department. And so today we have Jenny Taylor, Sydney, Corinne, and Austin, who is firefighter Taylor, Jeremy Taylor's family. So we'll go ahead and get started. Firefighter Taylor was hired to work with Berkeley County Fire on February 16, 2019 as part of the Safer Staffing Grant that was received that year. Firefighter Taylor soon became a lead firefighter of C shift, carrying out the lieutenant's duties. Firefighter Taylor was already a seasoned instructor before coming into the department and soon took on the role as department instructor for all in-service classes, hazmat and swiftwater technician classes for all new hires within the department and surrounding departments. Firefighter Taylor has proven his knowledge and experience in the fire service along with his instructional abilities, making him a great asset to the Berkeley County Fire Department and County Fire Service in general. He has instructed classes for both career and volunteer departments within Berkeley County, ensuring that the knowledge garnered at classes he attends is shared with firefighters throughout the county. Firefighter Taylor has excelled as a firefighter and instructor and has exhibited on a daily basis and throughout the promotional process his leadership abilities. He is being promoted to the Lieutenant Training Officer position for the department. It is my honor as Chief of the Berkeley County Fire Department to present to the County Commission Lieutenant Jeremy Taylor. So at this time, his daughter Corinne will be taking his firefighter badge off and pinning his lieutenant badge.
You have corsages now, they do it on the wrist, so you don't have to do that.
Yeah, we don't have to do that.
Yeah.
So again, I present to the commission, the citizens of Berkeley County, our fire department, Berkeley County Fire, Lieutenant Jeremy Taylor. Would you like to speak? Let me say a couple things.
Again, Chief, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. I promise I won't let you down. Do everything I can for the department. Commissioner Gokenauer, rest of the commission, thanks again for giving me the opportunity, especially Mr. Gokenauer, for you're the reason I'm here. So thank you for giving me the opportunity back in several years ago to come here and work. I figured out one thing when I come here. I've been involved in the fire service for 35 years, and they always say that you never truly work a day if you enjoy what you do. I didn't know it until I started coming to work for Chief. And that's continued throughout, as well as with Chief Roberts. So anything I can do, I sure will. And it makes it, as an officer and as doing training, I can teach all kinds of classes, but there's one thing that I can't teach, and that's heart. And these guys in the back of the room, they all have it. Berkeley County is very, very lucky to have the guys that we do. That's what makes his job and my job easier. But they're what makes it. And it's throughout the state. I travel around in the state, teach classes, and we're very well known for Berkeley County as general and as the fire department because we're setting that standard. We're the only one in the state that has this. The only ones that has a true career paid fire department. It reflects on each one of you sitting here. I've heard it a lot, especially with the new administration that we have. They can see it. Departments has asked me, well, what happened? What's the big change? Well, gentlemen here, so thank you. Thanks for allowing him to be a part of this and get us moving forward. I know you guys have recognized the issues and the things that we need to do for staffing, and we're actually making progress. We're moving forward, and that's something that we ain't never had. So glad to be a part of it and keep us moving forward. Again, thank you.
Lieutenant, congratulations once
you.
again on your well-deserved position. And I knew early in that you were going to be a perfect fit here. You liked the aggression and the fire suppression that I kind of liked a lot. So you fit right in, and you do an excellent job for us. And I knew that almost from day one. And not only your ability to fight fire, but your leadership skills that you brought with you from your previous employment as a sheriff in Mineral County. So I knew early in that you were the right guy for us, one of the right guys for us to be able to hire. And I'm very proud of you. I'm proud of every person that puts that uniform on every day and goes to work to serve the public. And we are fortunate that we've been able to do this, and we need to grow. We all know that. We all recognize that. Hopefully with the SAFER grant, Dad has worked very hard with Elizabeth and the chief and Randy on trying to get all this information into the government for this opportunity for additional staffing in Berkeley County. As a county, we'll continue to grow, and so our services will have to grow with it. Sometimes we don't grow at the rate as what we'd like to, but it's not because we don't want to. It just comes down to dollars and cents sometimes. But all of our emergency services need to continue to grow, and that includes the Sheriff's Office, our EMS, our 911 Center, our fire, all these agencies. As our population continues to increase and the demands that are being placed on you all every day, you're going to need more help. So we do know that, and I appreciate every one of you. With the exception of a couple of you, I hired you, I work with you, and I know your dedication, your loyalty, and what you're willing to do for the public that they have no idea. Thank every one of you for what you do, and congratulations to you, Lieutenant, on well-deserved promotion.
And also, can I have Lieutenant Shank come up front? He was back when Chief Goganire was chief, and we did the promotional exam several years ago. Lieutenant Shank, Lieutenant Sawyer, who couldn't make it this morning, and myself were promoted to lieutenants. We were never given the opportunity to you all to see the faces and so forth. So Lieutenant Shank's here this morning, so I just want to say that this is Lieutenant Shank. And secondly, I would like to tell Chad, I didn't really know how this whole thing was going to shake out, but I'm gonna tell you, Chad's a good dude. Chad is a great asset in his position that he's in, and he is. Our communication lines are wide open. We're usually talking 2 to 3 times a week and having a meeting every Tuesday to discuss fire department operations and where we need to be moving forward so we can stay in front of things as they start to happen. We've already got them planned and be able to move forward with. So, Chad, thank you on behalf of the Berkeley County Fire Department for your willingness to help make our fire department one of the best fire departments in the state of West Virginia. thing I want publicly. Say. So that's all I have, and thank you guys for continuing to work hard to try to find us funding so we can take care of the citizens of Berkeley County in a timely manner and overnight and on the weekends. I greatly appreciate everything you're doing. Thank you.
Lieutenant Shank, I know you've been in this position for several years now, and thank you for your leadership. And, I know, in particular, like in those wee hours of the morning when you guys are rolling out as the only station that's staffed overnight, a lot of times you're on the road by yourselves and going to the Lord knows who knows what. So we'll get there. We'll get you some more help somewhere along the line. It's, you know, there's not a rock that's out there that we haven't flipped. I can assure you that, and I think about it every day. You know, everybody else got other little things that they concern themselves over. You know, and their areas of expertise. Not necessarily saying I'm an expert, but I think about the fire service and emergency services in general every day.
We'll say it for you. You're an expert in.
Yeah. Yes.
Indeed he is.
But,
Absolutely.
But thank you all. I mean, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for what you do. Our emergency management team, I know they're ready. I attend the LAPC meetings. I see the activity there, their ability to generate that group of people has grown from when I was involved in it, and that's a testament to you all and your ability to reach out and communicate and bring people together. So the whole ball wax, you know, we're really in good shape. You know, at Chief Roberts' leadership, he's doing excellent. And you guys take care of hazmat. You take care of our swiftwater rescue. And I know this week you had past week you had a tough job on your hands. But I also know you're capable of handling problems that come forward. So just thank you for what you do.
And last, because she's a silent partner in this, but I can tell you, Candace from out of the Office of Emergency Services, who's also connected with me to Berkeley Fire, I would not be able to do the things that I do in the office and so forth without her leadership. And it's pretty awesome having a retired school teacher, because I'm going to tell you something, that lady is very organized and to the T on everything. And she is my spot checker to make sure that my I's and T's are dotted correctly. And in this process, I told her what I wanted to do, and she managed and took care of everything that I needed and needed to be the way that I needed, because I had a third party come in to do the written test part, and then we had an interview committee established with some folks from outside of Berkeley County that are career fire departments and officers in other fire departments sat on that interview panel, and it was, I would say it was pretty, we were very impressed with how things came out. And I just want to say thank you, Candace, for everything that you do day in and day out for us with the fire department, because there's no way, not with running calls and personnel stuff going on, I would be lost. So I would like to just say thank you to her. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Okay, that's going to
Hey, Marty, hold up for some pictures afterwards.
conclude our business meeting for today. Do we have a reason for executive session? No, sir. Mr. Barnhart,
Items from the public.
any additional? I knew you was going to get me on something. Any additional items from the public? Hearing none, Mr. Barnhart.
Mr. President, I would really like to move to recess.
We are in recess.
We got a professional photography on us.